Today we are going to be considering the very important topic of when do I qualify for indefinite leave to remain. So today we are going to very briefly consider what are the complexities of actually qualifying for indefinite leave to remain, whether you are on the 5-year route or the 10-year route. Now, there are many factors that can cause a break in continuous residence, and we will be discussing some very common scenarios. But first of all, let us consider what the definition of indefinite leave to remain means. It is an immigration status in the United Kingdom that allows a person to live, work, and to study in the United Kingdom without any restrictions at all. And it's very similar to permanent residency, which is granted in other countries. Now let's look at the eligibility. Let's look into this in a little bit more detail. Typically, if an applicant is on the 5-year route, they would need to have resided in the UK for a continuous period of 5 years. Conversely, if an applicant is on the 10-year route, they would need equally to have had 10 years continuous residence in order to qualify, and the key there is continuous residence. So, on the face of it, maybe you have resided in the United Kingdom for a long period of time, and you would think, well, definitely, I will definitely be eligible. Perhaps you've been residing in the United Kingdom for over 20 years, but we need to delve in deeper to see if and to what and whether you actually do qualify for indefinite leave to remain. Now, as we discussed earlier, there are many factors that can cause a break in continuous residence, and we'll be talking about just a few of those scenarios. Now, perhaps there's been a change in your financial circumstances. Either you, your sponsor, or the applicant, maybe they've lost their job, there is less income coming in, and so therefore they can no longer meet the financial requirement. Now, in that scenario, they will probably make the application for further leave, make that within the time frame they're required to do so before the expiry of their leave. But in view of the fact that they can no longer meet the financial requirement, that will be that they will switch onto the 10-year route. Similarly, you may have submitted your application before the expiry date. Now, this is quite common. Somebody may have made their application in time, but apparently it was after the expiry date, thus causing a break in their continuous residence. Another scenario, a very common one, is that the relationship has broken down. Perhaps an applicant was on the 5-year route and the marriage has broken down, and it's broken down before the 5-year has ended. So the Home Office, having been informed in that situation, the client no longer is eligible for under the 5-year route, and so the applicant may decide to apply for further leave, perhaps based on children, which will mean that they'll be switching from the 5-year route to the 10-year route. In addition, another way that there can be a break in residence if absences are exceeding 180 days. So there is the maximum allowed to be out of the common travel area is 180 days in any 12-month period. So one has to ensure that you do not exceed that period. So what is the effect of the break in continuous residence? Well, that break can be quite profound implications overall on qualifying for indefinite leave. So, in that scenario, if you have a client who was on a 10-year route, for example, and they now no longer qualify because there has been a change in the circumstances, it will mean that they now need to, they've switched from the 5-year route now to the 10-year route, which will mean that they now need to be residing in the United Kingdom for a total of the 5-year, which they didn't meet that requirement. So now they're on the 10-year route, so they would now need to meet the 10-year continuous residence before they can apply for indefinite leave to remain. So effectively, whenever there has been a break in continuous residence, the applicant would need to serve further fresh 10 years. So the points to note: number one, check very carefully before you make an application for indefinite leave to remain. Check that you do meet the requirements, because even though if you don't, you will probably be switched to the FRR route, but you would have to pay the additional immigration health surcharge, and there won't be a refund of the fees that you paid for indefinite leave to remain. And so those fees are quite different, and the fees for indefinite is considerably a lot more than it is to pay for further leave to remain. So you want to make sure that you do meet the requirements before you make that investment. Secondly, get immigration advice. And thirdly, if you have been absent outside the common travel area, make sure that your total absences do not exceed the 180 days in any 12-month period. Seek immigration advice is quick, effective, and gives you a clear picture of your situation and the next steps. Thank you for watching this video, and if it has been helpful, please feel to subscribe to watch further videos. Thank you.